Don't say everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Cody Demerais. I am a motivational speaker. I am a life coach, an entrepreneur. I am somebody who is a very proud family man, proud husband, and I am an author. For those who don't know me, for those who do know me, welcome to my very first video on me attempting to try and have a YouTube channel. Now, I should rephrase that. This is a first time for me trying to upload a YouTube video in about 4-5 years. I'm starting completely from scratch. You know, when I had the dream and the idea of wanting to make a YouTube video where I share some trains of thoughts, some experiences, some lessons, a few years ago, I was not the person that I am to this day. I'll be honest, that was 3 kids ago, maybe 300 live in-person speaking engagements ago, and, you know, a couple inches off the hairline ago. But that's okay. I feel like I'm at a place now where I have the confidence to speak in front of a camera like this a lot more than I did back then. And so I have been thinking that maybe I actually want to try this again, to attempt to make videos again. And something just felt right after I helped my beautiful wife lay down our 3 kids. I thought to myself, you know what? Tonight's the night. Go into your workspace, Cody. Try your best to make a video. Don't overthink it. Don't edit it. Don't restart the video 10 different times. Just make a video and speak your truths. Speak from the heart. Because, you know what, deep down inside, that's all we really want to connect with people when they speak from the heart. We don't want people to read scripts in front of us. We don't want people to be well trained and rehearsed when they're trying to speak from the heart in front of us. I think people often, especially now more than ever, I think with AI and technology, I think people are craving folks being authentic with them. And I feel like that's why more than ever, it's a really great time for me to just attempt to start making videos on things that have happened in my life, you know, things that are going on in my life. And I'm not gonna put a single stress on this. I'm gonna keep releasing videos until I feel like, you know, maybe I don't need to anymore. But my goal and intention is, even if it's 5 people who listen to this, 10 people, 20 people, who knows, maybe 1,000 people. This video alone, I have no idea. The truth of the matter is, I'm excited to just put out content and see what happens. Without any expectation, without any stress, and just see where it goes. Something really hit me the other day. I was speaking in front of 250, 300 post-secondary students through a few local schools in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan area, where I'm from, born and raised. I did my half an hour, 35-minute session that I was allotted as one of the last main speakers of the afternoon conference. It was a leadership symposium. And a young person came up to me after. And this person, we connected before I actually went out on stage and shared my lived experiences and my stories with the audience. And this young person just had a good vibe to him. I appreciated him. You know, he was just a young person that you could tell he was eager. He was eager to ask somebody who he thought maybe could help him, lead him in the right direction for him to chase his own dreams and his own goals. And very well, I could definitely tell from the questions he was asking me was about becoming an author. Now, for those who don't know me or will find out about me, I did publish my own memoir about a year and a half ago from the recording of this video. It was a long, hard, fought, big fight of a journey. For one, I have severe to high ADHD. Doesn't make sitting in front of a computer hours and hours and hours, night after night, night after night, very easy. Let alone having one baby at that time, no, 2 babies at that time. And of course, an exceptional partner who allowed me to go into the office late at night after we get the kids down to sleep and, just be able to put my trains of thoughts into a Word document. And I would just type for hours and hours and hours. Whether that made sense for the first few drafts or not is a whole different ballgame. But thankfully, that's when I found people around me who could help me edit it, structure it, and, put this actual idea to place, which was beautiful. Since that book has came out September of 2024, I think it was, we've sold over 5,000 copies, been a finalist for Saskatchewan Book Awards in 2025. We have had copies almost across the world, just, been ordered from Amazon and different things like that. Absolutely incredible. And, when I first had the idea of coming out with the book, my goal was just to finish the book. And then, of course, after the goal became realistic and we finished it, well, then, the idea of having 1,000 copies sold was the goal. Okay, well, that's stepping outside the comfort zone. I think at that time I sold maybe, 50 books at that time. But it was a goal that I wanted to succeed with. And then, okay, we're nearing up to 1,000 copies sold. Okay, where do we go there? Or from next? We go to 3,000 copies out in the world. And each milestone, each goal, I put this on my vision board because I'm a very visual person. I have to see these goals in front of me. I have to put them in the back of my mind in order for me to go and chase them. Whether or not I see them all the time or not, these goals on my vision board is just maybe something in passing, but it's just something that I've learned to do years ago when I really want something badly enough. But what helped me overcome my fears of putting out the book in the first place? Deep down inside was me wanting to make a difference in people's lives with that book. Okay, because I hit a big writer's block, a few times writing this book. I actually started from scratch. I think it was half a dozen times actually, where I got, maybe halfway with the first rough draft, and then that fear, that doubt, that inner child that still had to be healed and, talked to in a nice way. I just deleted everything because I didn't think the world wanted to read what I had to say. I didn't think the world cared about what I wanted to write. And see, that was me looking at the world in a selfish way at times. That was me looking at the world as just a me person. What changed a great deal is when I looked at that book as this isn't only for me. This book is for other people who are going to get a chance to read it, who might be going through similar experiences, same stories, same situations. And you know what? Maybe they could use a book like mine that I could put together to share about the things that I went through with my own addictions, my mental health issues, growing up as a young person who felt alone a lot of times and felt abandoned at times and just really felt misplaced at times. And so when I started taking my mindset of being a selfish person and just thinking what I want from this book, and when I turned my way of thinking of like, no, this book needs to help people and it's going to help people, that's when these things started to fall into place even that much more. And, a year and a half later of that book being out and about, and it's over 5,000 copies out in the world, it's just been an incredible journey. And one of the things that hits me the most often enough is not, the earnings that a person can earn from a book being sold, but I mean, that's one thing. I'm a businessman, family man. I got to support who I love and everything, but it's the messages and the emails I get from time to time. People tell me how my story embraced them to take on another challenge or move through another challenge. You know, every time I get one of those messages or emails, it's like a breath of fresh air, because I don't know how many times in my head I contemplated not even putting that book out in the world because I was scared what others might think. And to be, you know, have that confirmation of what people felt when they picked it up themselves and what it meant to them. And just to know that my intention for making a difference in people's lives was becoming true and more true as the book was just doing its thing out in the world. That meant a great deal. And that helped me heal from a lot of the things I had to heal in my own life. But to get back from my little ADHD tangent, you know, that was one part that was hard for me, having ADHD, to finish this book. Another part was being dyslexic. You know, I'm partially dyslexic. Not another easy task for a person to become an author. But to go back to this young person who was asking me questions, you know, right before I went and spoke to this audience in this gymnasium or in this auditorium, the questions he was asking me after really struck a chord with me. Because a lot of times in my presentations, I will talk about a time where I thought my life wasn't worth living anymore. And where I thought that, you know, the world couldn't become any brighter or any better from the dark place that I was at a certain point of my life. And now for those who know me, it's, you know very well, it takes place right after a car crash where me and my best friend hit a tree going about 112, 116. And so that was a time in my life where my buddy, I didn't know if he was going to survive being in an induced coma. And so the guilt, the anger I had for myself, the shame, just all the big emotions that a person can carry after a tragic situation like that, I wore it deeply. I wore it in my heart, I wore it on my sleeve, I wore it all, and it was heavy. Because there's a part of me that thought my best friend might not be here because of an accident that I caused years ago. And, you know, so in part of my presentations, I talk about a time where I thought life might be better off if I'm not here. Plain simple, not to get too descriptive. But thankfully, I'm still here, of course, as you can see. But you know what really hit me after my most recent presentation is this young guy that was just asking me questions about being an author beforehand, and you know, how I did it. Did I self-publish, or who helped me? And of course, I was trying to lead this person with the most value that I possibly could, because I seen somebody who was eager. I seen somebody who had something inside them that wanted to put it out into the world for whatever that reason was. That was that person's journey. But what hit me the most after this presentation is he stopped asking me questions about the book. And then he asked me a question that really hit me hard. And it was kind of the inspiration for me to do these videos for whoever's going to be watching. He asked me, what made you not want to try that again after it didn't succeed? And for my interpretation, of course, and with a little bit more clarification from him, he meant from me not trying to take my life again. This is where things can get deep in these videos. For those who are watching, I hope you're watching a safe place, and I hope you know you're taken care of and you're cared for. And if you feel a little heavy, please go reach out to a friend or somebody close by who can lend an ear to chat with. Because my videos aren't going to be meant to hurt people or upset people whatsoever. My videos are going to hopefully just open up maybe some consciousness, some awareness, some understanding what a person can go through, maybe some inspiration. So when this young person asked me, what made me not think of doing it again? Just clued in on me that this young person, you know, I don't want to assume too much, but this young person right there, without telling me, told me that this thought has crossed his mind. And I said, you know what, man? If I would have succeeded that day of not trying to be here in this world, I wouldn't be able to get to live the dream that I get to live to this day. I wouldn't be the father of 3 young babies. I wouldn't be the husband of a beautiful, strong wife. I wouldn't be this entrepreneur who gets to run a passionate business while taking care of his family, while speaking in front of tens of thousands of people on a yearly basis, while making, professional income as a professional speaker. I told him all this that I get to live now, man, it wouldn't have came true if I would have succeeded not being here all those years ago. And one of the things that I told him is that, we're here for a reason. All human beings are here for one way or the other. Whether that's you're speaking in front of tens of thousands of people a year, or whether that is you're doing a job 9 to 5 every day, but that job makes a difference in people's lives one way or the other, even if you don't think it does. It does. Or, maybe it's the neighbor across the street that you wave to every day that he might be going through a tough time. That wave across the street might actually just help that neighbor, maybe get on to his next day or her next day. We don't know always the exact reasons why we're still here, but we wouldn't be here if we weren't meant to be here. Now, I don't know if this young person's ever going to see this video. I don't know if anybody is going to ever see this video. But I can tell you right now, the way I feel about this video right now makes me having to want to feel this again. There's been something in my life knowing that I want to share some sort of special content with people, and no special edits, no special magic, just being raw, just being authentic, just being who I am, Cody Demerais, right here in front of you. Now, the reason why that really appeals to me is because, one, I suck at technology. Editing things and making things all fancy and pretty and stuff like that with special effects and putting music into this can delay the process of these kind of messages getting into the ears of whoever's going to listen a great deal. I know, because I've tried it on many different aspects before. So I thought, just start raw, start real, and see where it goes. Also, I think speaking in front of tens of thousands of people over the last couple years has definitely helped my confidence level, being able to speak in front of a camera like this. Because I promise you, if you have seen any of my old videos back in the day when I thought this was going to be something I tried to do in an old YouTube channel, I would not be this guy in those old videos. That's a guarantee. But I think, a big call for me to also start doing these videos is just, I think it's a need in this world right now. When people start talking about technology, people start talking about AI, I think there is a big amount of human beings that are craving that human connection with each other, that are craving no special effects, that are craving just these real conversations that a person can have in front of a camera, like it is me having with whoever's listening today or tomorrow or whatever this video comes out. I'm going to come at it with the same intentions that I did with my book. These videos are going to make a difference in people's lives. This video, maybe that young person sees it a year from now, and maybe he's in a tough place, and maybe this video just hits him and he's like, you know what, that guy made a video because the conversation we had. Maybe he doesn't know even that impacted me, that conversation, as much as he did. But maybe it hits him, and maybe he realizes that his life can, it is valuable. It is worth keeping going. I gave that young person a big hug. And I said, don't be scared, just keep going, man. because you don't know what's on the other side of just hanging on, even when things seem to be pretty hard to do so. Well, this is my first video. I look forward to making many more because this felt good. This felt like it was meant to be. I don't know what that is, why that is. Maybe it's a couple of the reasons that I said, but I guess we'll see what happens after this video is posted and it's out in the world and people have the ability to comment or like it and share it and subscribe, because guess what? Ending of this video, I have 0 subscribers. So if you found value in this video, please maybe share with somebody who could use it. Maybe subscribe, maybe like that video, or just, you know what, give me good wishes, because intention is a lot of things, and I believe it's everything. When we have good intention to other people, I think it carries on even if we don't make any actions. My name's Cody Demerais. Once you believe you have the ability and capacity to do great things, that's when I truly believe life can become limitless. Thanks, everybody.